Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very welcome. Right, today we've got a map which is realistic but also fantastical as well. So when you leave your comments, remember to be kind. I don't want any saltiness today. I don't want any salty. Oh, we'll leave the saltiness to the creator. I'm sure they'll be salt enough for all of us. So, what can I tell you about today's map? It's based on a continent that exists, that is under the ocean, and it's how it's been reimagined where it be shrunk down to Cities Skylines size. This is like the continent of North America, but not. It's the continent that New Zealand lives on, and all the associated oceanic islands like New Caledonia, Tuvalu, Tonga. I guess Tonga, yeah. Anyway, you got the gist. This is what they imagine it to look like, and I think they've done an interesting job. BonBonBingo, very interesting job to play that one, but before we do that, I've got one very disinteresting job, but you might as well do it anyway. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Zealandia by SodiumChloride. So, the only saltiness I want is from today's creator. See where I was going? I was leading to that. I was waiting days to throw that pun in. There's your start square. That looks pretty playable to me. Interesting forest shapes and stuff going on there. Terrain heights, plenty of buildable space, and that mountain ridge that is very typical of New Zealand. Resources are a little bit light, mostly away from 25 tiles, but there's a bit of oil and forestry, I guess. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, your fishing map looks like this, which is okay. We got most of it. Okay, off to the workshop. Hurrah! What do we need? Well, you've got a list of 3 requirements on the right hand side. Short, nicely written description on the left, and a one-click collection with 105 items in it. Now, it says at the top, personal collection for, and yes, it is exactly that. It's a personal collection. If you could, for me, Sodium, if you're watching this one, just make this private, because it's going to confuse people. It's definitely a really good collection for doing a New Zealand style build, but in terms of the map, all that's required are those 3 items on the right hand side there. The Not So Rocky Hills map theme, and we'll be using the realistic 1.2 LUT. So all the rest of the requirements there, I actually clicked subscribe to a whole bunch of them that I figured, and I was best guessing that some bits wouldn't be required. The map doesn't require any of them, apart from those items on the right. So yeah, if you can, that'll just make you might even get a few more subscribers, and people being scared off by having to subscribe to 105 items. Even though you do clearly say it's your personal list, it's a personal list for your city build, not for the map, and it might cause some confusion. Anyway, I digress. We're coming in via the dotted islands going on down there. The old mountain ridge sticks its head out of the ocean still. And we have a rail between the roads. The roads have been done to a pretty decent standard today. Because we are slightly fantastical, because this doesn't exist clearly. The slight incline here on the rail, which is slightly steeper than would be seen as realism, I'm going to allow today. I think we have to suspend a little bit of disbelief. A little bit. Heading down here towards our secondary start location, and you can see we've still got the rail running between. Problem with the rail running between highways like that is getting it out. Get it, there you go, that's where your secondary location is. A little bit steep, too steep for me coming down here. The first one I could disbelieve, that one is too much, I'm afraid, for me. Anyway, and then we go rail between again, but our creator, slightly encroaching tree there, our creator has got a solution in the start square for not getting the... Oh, and I've got some trees in the river. 1 or 2. Not too many. Oops. That's not too bad. Anyway, has got a solution for helping us to not have a problem with rail in between the highways in the start square. And that is here. We've actually got a broken bit of rail. Disconnected. Let me show you. Let me move it, and come on, move it. We need nodes. Thank you. And there you go. So you're not actually going to get any trains into your start square, which I feel definitely is going to affect gameplay. That said, I would still like, with this sort of map, I still like to see the rail separated out from the highways, just making it a little bit easier for somebody to start playing on the map. And there are many players that don't want rail in the start square either, but I'm okay with it. I just want to be able to get to it without having to faff about for a while. Anyway, heading down here into the start square, and we have got perfectly decent playable area. Now, when I showed you those trees in the river, I neglected to record the trees in the start square river as well. We got a few. It's not the world's worst, but there are a few dotted in there too. Right, okay, I feel it's about time to take that brief intermission. And so back to Zealandia by SodiumChloride and the shipping routes, which are fine. Basically, they're fine. We have this one. It does have one interesting feature built into it. There's the first shipping triangle. And it's... I'm not entirely sold on the solution, but that said, I think most people in the standard game won't even notice. So... there is this, and that would be this roundabout. A shipping roundabout with shipping triangles built in. So you probably won't notice ships doing anything funny there because you'll be too busy building or taking screenshots or whatever. But yeah, it's a little bit weird. This one dead ends. This doesn't go anywhere. So that would be the end of our route here. And of course we've got air routes going on as well. Where's this dead ending? There it goes. Right, water flow. We have this little twiddly river. It's not very deep. It's not very strong in the start square. And it's not really pushing out much water here. So if you're looking to have moving water in the start square area, you're not really going to have any. And you might end up polluting your subjects. Just bear that one in mind when you're building. It's just means you've got to find other options. But there's plenty of coast around the outside. Once you get onto the second tile, there's bound to be water there as well. Liking the shape. I'm actually really liking the shape of this map. The overall shape of the island, or the continent, I guess. And we've got some field painting and some like hinting at hedges and stuff like that. And I think this has been done very neatly indeed. In terms of the style that the map's been done in, I think the trees work really quite nicely. Really quite nicely. I'm not talking about next level, but we're talking about it works, and I'm happy with them, which is good. Being happy is good. So yeah, plenty of buildable space, both sides of the island. We got that mountain ridge as well. Beaches are sort of okay in places. I mean, this is okay. No real issues with that. But I mean, I've seen next level beaches, but they do feel a little bit rushed. Like here, we got the sand, which is on top of the little ragged, crugged bits there. Which you wouldn't get sand up there. Like sand also climbing up the sides of these hills here, and on the top of the cliffs there. Some of those sand wouldn't be there either. So I feel like here's okay. I mean, you can see, loving the shapes of the hill. You can see the erosion lines going down there, and the beach around the outside looks okay, which is nice here. But if we go one over to the left, and we've got a very similar one here, you can see this one is just like the sand has just been painted in too quickly. And so, yeah, just a little bit more time on the sand for more polished beaches. Or, of course, you can do that while you're building. Why not? We have, of course, some sandbanks. I like this. This just adds a little bit more depth to the map. It's pleasing without being particularly clever. And I'm okay with that. It adds to me. It really does. Then we have the Essential Lighthouse. Isn't she lovely? In green today. Nice. And we have a slightly glitchy prop vehicle there. That's odd. And also the house there, which is just glitching a little bit out of the terrain, just a little bit because of the footplate. Anyway, let's go down to the start square because we've got the asset of the day and a salty factoid. Because salty factoids. Right, today's asset is the Mariscal Centre, apologies for my pronunciation, by Watermelon. This one is down in Ascension in Paraguay. And factoids, because factoids. France has always been a major producer of salt, and the gabelle, the tax on salt, often came in discussion. This tax was actually one of the main reasons for the outbreak of the French Revolution. Salt also has had military significance. For example, it was recorded that thousands of Napoleon's troops died during his retreat from Moscow because their wounds would not heal due to lack of salt. And in 1777, British Lord Howe was jubilant when he succeeded in capturing General Washington's salt supply. There you go, salt factoids. Now, I really like this, and only me would come down to this level and look like this, but I'm liking the bit of detailing inside that's going on here. You don't often get this. Unfortunately, if you do that over this side, you can just see through a little bit of underside ceiling blue mantle going on there. So yeah, a little bit of missing ceiling, but do you know what? Nobody's going to care but me, are they? Mariscal Centre by Watermelon. You know what, Watermelon, you're a great creator, but if you can put a ceiling in, that'll be amazing. Not that anybody's going to notice, apart from me. That's it, yeah. What do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, I think we've done a reasonable job here, you know. We haven't polished it beyond all life. It's got a sensible theme and it just looks okay. I'd score it more highly if the beaches were more believable, but I think it just edges into 4 stars because the overall design of the map is very nice indeed. Detailing is okay. It's not quite pushing to the next level. There's 1 or 2 issues like the drowned trees and the stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to go for a very high 3 stars. It's bordering that 4th star. And I'm going to do the same exactly with gameplay potential. It does feel very playable, this, but we have got that broken rail line. And I'd like to see a little bit of moving. As we've got a river, I'd like to see moving water in the start square. Anyway, Zealandia by SodiumChloride is not the worst map you're going to see today. Well, it will be if you don't look at any other maps today, but if you go and have a look at some other maps, I guarantee you there will be definitely inferior maps to this one. I love the overall shape of this one. It's the sort of map that I very happily play on, but I would want to fix it a little bit first, personally. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. If you're still here, yes, you are part of the 20 and out delete. Don't just wave goodbye, head on over to the comments, leave the words of the day in the comments and prove that you are one of the elitists. We like the elitists. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. Have a great day and I'll see you very, very soon.